Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty enthusiast and consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today we get to talk about one of my favorite brands, DANESSA MYRICKS, and she is coming out with her Lightworks 3 Experience palette. So if you missed out on the original Lightworks 3 palette, I'm sorry, I really am, because unfortunately she's not bringing this one back. How to the ever. She is coming out with what she calls her Experience palette. It's going to be basically the baby sister of this one. It's launching tomorrow, July 22nd. So what I wanted to do today was just a quick short tutorial with the Lightworks 3 palette, sharing with you the 8 shades that are going to be in the Experience palette, showing you again how these eyeshadows look, the formulation, so that when the palette launches, you can decide if this would be something that is worth your buy. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it, and I would love for you to click that subscribe button and join the Glam Girl Squad. And if you do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, and let's get right into this video. So yes, DANESSA MYRICKS Lightworks 3 is this. This is what it looks like. I absolutely went stupidly crazy over this palette when it released. I'll link my original review of this palette above, but like, I love this palette. I highly recommend the Experience palette because she is taking the 8 most popular shades from this palette and putting it into a smaller version type of palette. The packaging looks pretty much the same. There's still going to be a mirror. Yes, I'm picking up the Experience palette. Yes, I will be doing a comparison between the two because I also want to confirm, are the formulations the same? Are the shades the same? Like, I got y'all. I got y'all. However, if you missed out on this palette and you're wondering, should I get the Experience palette because I really want this one, but I know she's not bringing it back? Yes. So from what she has shared on her Teach Me Tuesdays, her Experience palette is going to be formulated with 8 most popular shades from this palette. So we're going to have Poreless, Galaxy, Martian, Soul, Strawberry Moon. Then we'll have Aurora, Gaia, and Solar Rain. So those will be the 8 shades from this original palette in the new Experience palette. So let me swatch these 8 shades so that in case you just haven't seen them in a while, you can see what they look like, and I'll also explain to you the formulations, and then we'll get into this eye look. So starting out with Poreless. So I'm gonna go from here to here, Strawberry Moon, and then here to here. So Poreless is described as an opalescent yellow to seafoam green duochrome gel. So this is more of a gel-like formulation. It's very soft and it has some slip to it. And as you can see, it's got a beautiful duochrome shift to it. Galaxy is described as a multi-chrome pigment with smoky teal green and violet shift. And this one is beautiful. Depending on how you shift this color, you can definitely see all 3 of the colors described. Then we get into Martian. This is a multi-chrome pigment with icy blue green, lilac, and plum with a brown shift. Also very gorgeous. Soul is a gilded khaki gold powder cream. So this one has a definitely different texture than these 2 and this one. This one feels more like, just a little more like a traditional shadow, and you definitely see a little more texture with it, more of like a glittery texture, but it's not glitter, and it's definitely not textured in terms of its feel. It just feels slightly more shadow-like than the first 3 shadows that I have swatched. Strawberry Moon is a pink lilac holographic powder. And this one, as a highlight, as a shadow, as anything across the face, it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Aurora, one of my favorite shades. Actually, all of these shades are like my absolute favorite ones from the palette, except for Black Hole. Yeah, except for Black Hole. I really love Black Hole, the black shade. But the rest of them are like my go-to ones in this palette. So I would agree, these are the best of the best from this palette. So Aurora is a multi-chrome pigment with electric plum, fuchsia, and olive green shift. Next we have Gaia, which is my absolute favorite shade in the entire palette. And Gaia is a multi-chrome pigment with copper, bronze, and with an emerald shift. Like, I could wear Gaia as a one and done eyeshadow look because I've done it. I could wear Gaia every day. It's my absolute favorite. Solar Rain is a multi-chrome pigment with pearl peach, key lime, and a platinum shift. So these are all 8 of the shades that are going to be in her new Lightworks 3 Experience palette. And like I said, if any of these shades appeal to you, if you want basically a condensed version of the original Lightworks 3 palette, I'm telling you, go ahead and get this one, because just like this original palette, the Lightworks 3 Experience palette is going to be limited edition, and once it sells out and she decides I will make it no more, we all know at this point, she ain't making it no more. Now, the difference between the Lightworks 3 original palette and this Experience palette is it is going to be available at all retailers that sell the brand. So Sephora, Camera Ready Cosmetics, Beautylish, Riot Beauty, of course on her website. So wherever you can get her products, those websites are to be carrying it. So the Lightworks 3 Experience palette will be available to more people, and it will also be $85. So it is going to be a little more affordable than the original palette. The original palette was $125. Okay, so we've got all the details out. Let's get into this eye look. And I think I remember the order, because y'all know I be forgetting the order. Okay, so starting out with Color Fix, I wanted to recreate, or I wanted to create a look that was inspired by the look that the beautiful Stephanie Ponce did on this past Tuesday, Teach Me Tuesday. It was July the 19th. And I loved that eye look. So I wanted to create a look that was inspired by it. So she started out with Color Fix Wonderland, which I don't have that one. Oh, but it is being added to cart. But I do have Color Fix Matte in Royalty, and then Color Fix Neon in the shade Lollipop. So I mixed these 2 shades together, and that is the base look, or the base color for this eye look. And I just initially took it on my finger. I blended out the edges with a brush, and I worked pretty quickly because if you don't know, Color Fix will dry on you within a couple of minutes. So I worked quickly, tried to make sure all edges were blended out. And then I went in with the Lightworks 3 palette. So we first started off with Galaxy. Wanted to go in with this shade because it's just so stunning, and I love the shifts of color that are in Galaxy. I love the shifts of teal and green and violet that come in Galaxy, so definitely want to use that shade first. Then I had to go in with Martian, so I love topping Martian on top of Galaxy, but I wanted to keep it center because I wanted to create somewhat of a halo eye. And like I said, this look was inspired by the look that Stephanie created from this past week's Teach Me Tuesday, and so that's what she did. Not with the same colors, but the same, like a similar method of application. So after I applied Martian in the middle, just to give it that extra pop and like that extra dimension, I had to go in with Gaia because, like I said, I love Gaia. Like, Gaia will be used every time I use this palette if I can. So I took Gaia and just put it along the edges of Galaxy. So, you know, I didn't want it to take away from Galaxy or Martian, but I wanted Gaia to be there. So you see shifts of Gaia, but it's not anything that's like overbearing, but it's like subtly there because Gaia just had to be in it. Then after Gaia, I wanted to work on this lower lash line. So I went in with Aurora. The tones, like the violet, the green, what else is in Aurora? Plum. Oh, like Aurora might be my second favorite shade in the palette. I love Aurora. It's beautiful. Another amazing like one and done eyeshadow look with this palette. And then, so I took Aurora, put it on the outer edge of my eye and the inner corner of the eye, left the middle open because I wanted to go in with Strawberry Moon. And Strawberry Moon, as you can tell, it has a very holographic look. So the colors look similar to Aurora, but the texture is different. And I love just the pop that it gave that center of the lower lash line. I was almost tempted to just take Strawberry Moon and like put it all over Aurora, but I didn't want to, but I was very tempted because I was like, oh, Strawberry Moon is just so beautiful. And then I also took Strawberry Moon and put it in the inner corner of my eye. And y'all, my eye look is done. Like, very simple, nothing that's like overly complex. But honey child, do y'all see the dimension? The shifts in the tones? And I love how well all of these shadows work together, how buildable they are, how you can stack them on top of color fix, but you could also put them on top of just regular eyeshadows. Like, I've taken this palette and my Mothership palettes, Natasha Denona eyeshadows, and I put these shades either underneath them or on top of them. I mean, this palette is such a beautiful complementary palette to what other palettes, what other shadows you want to work with. They're just beautiful. I love the formulations of them. I love the colors that are chosen for this palette and that are also chosen for the Experience palette, because like I said, outside of Black Hole, all the shades that I commonly use from this palette are going to be the shades in the Experience palette. And I know there are some of us, because some of you all have told me like you really wanted more of these holographic shadows, or I should just say pigments. And who knows, maybe she'll come out with just like that individual sleeve of them. But I am glad that she did choose one of the shades to go in the Experience palette. And not saying this because I'm trying to get you to buy the palette, but Strawberry Moon is the one that I use the most. I'll use it on my face, I've used it on my eyes. The other ones are really pretty and I've used them, I just don't use them as often because of the tones of the shadows. So I think that she did very well with picking shadows and tones from this palette to create a smaller sister palette that I really feel like you will enjoy and that you will be getting the best of the best from this palette. And I'm excited to have another one because I hardly ever travel with this palette because I'm like, I know I can't get another one. And if something happens to it, like that's it. So I'm excited that I can get the Experience palette, and the shades that I use the most, I will have in a smaller version. It's easier to travel with because it'll be smaller, but the packaging is also very durable. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that if you missed out on this palette, you pick up the Experience palette. Like I said, it will be available Friday, July the 22nd on DANESSA's website. It's gonna go live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I don't know if it's going to go live like on Sephora at midnight because your girl's going to be up at midnight, okay? Gonna get mine from Sephora because I'm gonna work on that 2-day shipping because I wanna have it like ASAP. So if you want to get it from another retailer, I would say check the website at midnight or check it at 9 a.m. because I don't know when they're going to post it live. But I know on DANESSA's website, it will be live 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guys, that is it. Let me know your thoughts as to how you are looking forward to the new Experience palette. Are you going to get it? If there's other questions that you have about the Experience palette, leave them in the comment section below because I might be able to answer them for you. And if I can't answer them, I will definitely do my research to find the answer for you. And that is it, guys. Everything that I have on my face, I will have linked down below. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, honey child, what you waiting for? I'd love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.